Hey, I just wanted to talk about my favorite drummer in the world passing away. Now, I know as far as technicians are concerned, I've heard it all the time. Neil Peart was the greatest. And he really is. But for me, the way that this rhythm player played drums, it was so uncanny. It was so creative. He goes on the downbeat for both the bass and the snare. Then he goes on the upbeat on the hi-hat. So he takes a direct path between the bass drum and the snare drum, and then he goes over to the hi-hat. And I just think that's such an effect. And the hi-hat is always on an offbeat, by the way. It's on an upbeat, we'll say. And his bass and drums seem to be on the downbeat. You know what I'm saying? And Frank Beard, you're an inspiration for me. I'm saving up for my drum set because I don't hear anybody that can play that kind of stuff. And I'm debating on whether to get a double bass or a single bass. I know I can play faster with the double bass, and Frank Beard does have a double bass. But I've been listening to his stuff, and Tejas is my target album. And that's where I want to take it, because he just takes me away. Now, that's nothing wrong with Billy Gibbons. Him and Dusty Hill wrote the greatest songs in the world, but that's the cake. The icing was always Frank Beard. He died at 77. I don't know the cause of death, but he had a legacy with that swing beat. The swing beat is where you play two beats in a row, but you accent the second beat instead of the first beat, and I think that's entirely important. Frank Beard really blew me away. Every song, on that album, Tejas, it just takes you on a journey. And he has such a relationship with the swing beat, incorporating both the hi-hat and the ride cymbal. And it just excites me as being half of the rhythm section, right? I'm a bass player, so I'm half of the rhythm section. I used to play drums, and so it's probably going to take me a year to save up for this thing, but I'm saving up for a Sonar drum set. And the first thing I'm going to do when I get that set is I'm going to learn every song in Tejas. Every single song. Because some days, I'm a little down, right? And I just listen to it, and this thing just takes me up. It pulls me up because it's the icing on the cake. And it's entirely precise if you listen to it. He's right on time, But he approaches the drums entirely different than a lot of other drummers. He hits the bass and the snare, and then the hi-hat on the offbeat, right? He's on the beat for the bass and snare, and then he's offbeat. I already said that, I know. But I'm enunciating that. And when you listen to this album, it's going to take you away. I mean, the way that he doubles up on El Diablo, he doubles up on the tempo, right? Starts out real slow as a nice drum pattern. And then all of a sudden, he just starts taking off on the second verse. The second verse, this guy doubles up everything. And Avalon Hideaway. But what about my favorite one? The favorite ones that he plays on are $10 Man and Pan Am Highway Blues. Man, he just cooks it. He cooks. And so does Dusty Hill and Billy Gibbons, with all due respect. But I wanted to pay my tribute to the drummer ZZ Top. It changed my life. Frank Beard when I heard him on that song, Waiting for the Bus, for instance, 1973, I remember that year. I was alive, right? I was just a kid. And that beat was so incredibly offbeat and so unique that I vowed to myself, you know what, I want to learn more about this band. And then that guy really pulled me into this band, Frank Beard, believe it or not. And one of my favorite bands, you know. I just put on the album and I think to myself, what kind of album can I make, making a swing beat, but making different songs, obviously, right? Making my own originals, but with the swing beat, because, I mean, I hardly even see any drummers out there. And I don't think they can do what's in my imagination. And that imagination was sparked. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Neil Peart. I'm not saying anything bad about Anika Niles. I'm not saying anything bad about, Ginger Baker or, Mitch Mitchell or any of the great John Bonham, Keith Moon. Keith Moon I really love, But the way that Frank Beard appealed to me was the fact that he had an ability to really break down every element of his drum set and use it in a creative way, in a minimalist fashion, but he's so fast, And if I could do anything close to his beats, I could probably make it. I'm 60, right? And you're going like, no chance, no way. But we'll just see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save up for this thing. It's going to take a long time because I'm living off my dividends, right? But if I can do this and I can do that album, It's Only Love, right? That song, Avalon Hideaway. Boy, I sure needed that as a kid when I was getting bullied around, right? I need my Avalon Hideaway. And, all that stuff. And Frank Beard, thank you for inspiring me to be a drummer. Don't have to do it full time, right? I can do it part time, back it up, and differentiate myself from everyone else in the entire world, right? I can differentiate myself because I'm not, sorry about that. I'm not using, an art, like something that I just plugged in from a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, right? And that counts for me because that guy changed my life, Frank Beard. He kept me going through some really hard times. So did Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill, man. Their songwriting abilities. I'd be honored just to write an album that was half as good as their first album, right? But Tejas really took my head off. and Diguelo was a really good album. Their first album is kick butt, right? And then, of course, their second album. The third album was the one that I heard on the radio. But actually, I kind of remember hearing Backdoor Love Affair off their first album. So I must have been like, that came out way long time ago. I must have been like 7 or 8 years old. And Frank Beard, you really took me far, with my imagination. And thinking like, well, why can't I do this? What's stopping me? Will I ever meet that awesome drummer? I don't know, man. I've met some people on meth, said that they used to be drummers. I haven't seen a real drummer for a while that isn't really taken up with time and stuff like that. And I really want to get that swing beat in there. And I don't know anybody else that does a swing beat in my life. And that's where I'm going. So hopefully in 1 year I'm going to have my drum set. I don't know if it will be a double bass. It might be just a single bass. It's kind of hard to bring up a double bass at an open mic. People just, I don't think they're going to go for it. But I can always play it studio-wise, at my house. And thank you for showing up for me today. Sad to give a tribute to Frank Beard and, Waiting for the Bus and Jesus Just Left Chicago, right? Just Got Paid. I mean, these songs really lift me up. And the way he plays, it's almost like the military. It's almost like a machine that Frank Beard is portraying. And that's my tribute to him. And I'm broken up about it, but his legacy is still behind. You know what I mean? He left his legacy with me. And if I choose to, I can make a difference with the percussion and separate myself from the, uniquely in sound on percussion. And that means a lot to me, And I thank you so much for sticking around with me. I'm just about in tears about this, so I'm not sure if I'll be putting out a video tomorrow, but I'm going to try, okay? All right, I'll see you.